Hi, Scott Weaver from Factory Direct Window Treatments. Today we are going to mount a traverse rod on this wall, so we're going to show you how to do that. A few things that you're going to need. You're going to need a tape measure, of course. We're going to need a flathead screwdriver. This is optional, but it's a punch. I like to use the punch. A square. These are mollies. Most of the time when you're installing, it's going to be hard to find a stud every time, so just be prepared. Have several of these run. These are about 75 pounds, I think they can handle, and they screw in. They're self-tapping. And of course you're going to need your screws. These screws came with it. They're number 8 1¼ inch number 8 hex head. So you're going to want to have a drill that's going to have a hex head drill bit onto it and a little extension. And you also may need, you don't have to have a second screw gun, I just happen to do, but one with a number 2 Phillips head drill bit. So we're going to start by figuring out how far we need to go out with this drapery rod. There's a calculation, and most of the time, these are going to be traversing, so they're gonna close, they're gonna open. But you want your rod to go past the window, so you're not blocking your view. So, and the way you do that is you're going to measure your window from outside frame to outside frame, and I came out with 45½. Now, what you need for a stack back, and it varies, but I'm going to say, as a general rule, use 25% of that window or quarter of the window. So what that means is you're going to take your 45.5 and you divide that by 4. That comes out to being 11 3/8 inches. So we're going to go past the window by 12 inches. That's 6 inches on each side. So we come out 6 inches here and 6 inches on that side. And that's going to allow for my stack. So just figure about 25% of your window opening is what you want to add onto your rod. So we're going to go ahead, first thing we do is we get our finished length. And our finished length on the draperies is 86 inches. So we're going to want to have 86½ inches so it clears the floor by a ½ inch. It's got carpet on it. If they were stationary, I usually want the draperies just to kiss the floor. But since these are going to be opening and closing, about a ½ inch up from the floor will give you plenty of clearance. Now when you're doing this, what you want to do is you want to measure right alongside the window here. And so I'm going to go up, bring my tape measure. I want the tape measure just to touch the carpet, no more than touching the carpet. Keeping it right alongside. Now I'm going to put a mark at 86½. That's the first. Now you're going to want to find the center of your window, which we said was 45½. That is 22 3/4. So now I went ahead and I put a mark at 22 3/4 just above here. And that's where your T-square is going to come in handy for, because I'm going to come over to my first mark with it, and it's approximately 5 1/8 inches up. So I'm going to come over to the center of my window, and I'm going to come to that 5 1/8. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw a vertical line right there. Now with my vertical line, now I'm going to measure out from each side. My rod size is 59 inches. That's where I'm going to have my rod. And if you take a calculator, 59 divided by 2, you come out with 29½ inches. So now I'm going to want to mark the wall at the 29½ inches. Now another thing I forgot to mention, of course you're going to need a level. I use a digital level. This is a Stabilo level, but even then I don't even use this that much. I like to use a laser level. I really do like to cheat. So right in front of me here I have a laser level. I can go ahead and turn that on. I've already got it at my length that I need, and I've got this right to the center, and this kind of helps a lot. But if you don't have this, you don't need it. You can still do it without it. So now from my center line, I'm going to go out 29.5 inches. And I'm putting a vertical line. In a second I'll show you. I'll go over to the other side. Mark this side 29.5. And I'm going to go ahead and mark my center. For my center support. Okay, now that's all I need the laser level for. I'm going to shut that off. I'm going to take this and I'm going to show you the marks that I made on my wall. If you notice, there it is. It's like a square. You've got it going here and vertical. Okay, that's where the top of my rod bracket is going to go, and that's where it's going to stop, right along that edge. And that's how you mark it. And in the center, I have a T. And then, of course, on the other side, I've got the vertical and horizontal.